Hello, it is World Wide Web Wednesday, March 11th, 2020. Steve Sipress here. I made this post on social media somewhere the other day. Somebody put something about building a list for a business, and that it was something about someone with an online business needs to build a list. And I commented and said, every business is in the list building business. And then a bunch of people commented below. And I said, unfortunately, most just suck at it. And that's a big reason that 80 or 90% of businesses go out of business in the first few years, and half of them fail in the first year. And most business owners, according to government statistics, the average business owner makes about 40 grand a year. And so business owners struggle, have a lot of stress, pay themselves last, go into debt, barely survive before the business finally collapses. And a big part of that is because they're terrible at list building. Gary is here, good seeing you. No matter what business you're in, the best thing you can do is build a list. Now, a lot of business owners, businesses at least, oh, by the way, I was going to say, and after those comments and back and forth, I got a bunch of people contacted me, and I did a few calls over the last couple of days all about this topic. I had one person who told me they had like 15 or 20,000 people on their list, and yet, and they thought it was a good thing that 300 people had opened their last email. And they got like 8 or 10 responses to their offer, which was for something free. And I'm like, that is terrible. So there's a saying, not only got to build a list, because there's an age-old saying that the money is in the list for any business, but the truth is the advanced saying, where successful people know, that the money is in the relationship with the list, not just the list. So this person had 15, 20,000 people on the list and was making no money from it. And I've been at the top of leaderboards and all kinds of promotional contests and such, up against big shots with 600,000, 800,000, a million names on their list and more, with my little list of about 1,200, and making as many sales as those big giant list owners do because of the relationship that I built with my list. So number one, you've got to build a list. So a lot of most business owners, businesses, they don't even build a list. Most have, at best, they have a buyer's list. Some don't even have it organized, but nowadays, hopefully most have it in a computer somewhere. In the old days, I mean, people just had slips of paper and stuff. And when I would, consult with business owners about their buyers list, they were like, well, I have all the slips here, the receipts. I'm like, you got to organize them. You got to have a list, and you got to constantly communicate with the list. I mean, you got to build a relationship with the list. Now, people ask, how can you build a relationship over email? It's the same way you build a relationship in real life. So before I get to that, I want to finish the point about business owners not building a list. At best, they have a buyer's list, but it happens to me on the other side of the register all the time, calling businesses, and how few of them ever get my contact information. Or when I visit websites and I peruse around and I read a bunch of stuff and watch some videos and read the about me or whatever, and yet they never ask for my contact information. What you got to do is offer people something of value that they'll feel is valuable enough that in return, they'll give you their contact information, at least a name and email. For a local business, you ought to get their mailing address also, so you can really make some money by mailing them stuff in the good old post office here in the U.S. We call it the United States Postal Service, and drop something in the mail, which probably, 30, 40 times more profit than just using email. But at the very least, collect their email address, their phone number, so you can notify them of specials and when you have something new coming out, or whatever special you're running. But to build a relationship with the list, you really need to you just think about how you build a relationship with somebody in person. I mean, you basically get to know each other. You spend time together. You show that you care. Well, it's the same thing you can do over email. And it's a lot for just a short video here. But of course, go to helpfromsteve.com and I'll help you do all this right from the start about what to offer them in return that they'll feel is valuable enough to give you their contact information, and what to do once you get that information. What to do to build a relationship with the list, not just continue to blast things at them and say, please buy this and please show up here and please buy that and please do this. And, how about building a relationship with the list so that they get tremendous value out of it and you get tremendous value out of it. You ought to be making, even with a list of just 1,000 or 2,000 people on a list, you ought to be making well over 6 figures a year from it. And that ought to, first of all, you blast by the U.S. government statistics that a small business owner only makes 40 grand. That's a way to make money with a lot less stress than hoping the phone rings today so you can go out and do some work. All the time, over the decades, when I would be visiting clients and the phone would ring and I'd hear the receptionist, giving out quotes and giving out information and then hanging up and never collecting any contact information. Same thing with all the websites. How many restaurants do you go to that you have a great meal, they say, pay the bill, the waiter thanks you, and you head out the door, and they didn't collect my information. Businesses just don't. How many businesses do you go into if you're in a mall? You walk into how many? 20, 30 businesses? You walk in, they say, can I help you? You say, just looking, and then you look around, then you leave, and they didn't collect any contact information. Now, just by walking in the store and spending any amount of time expresses the fact that you have some interest in what they're selling, and yet they let you leave and just hope you come back again. Well, hope is not a strategy. So get good at this one skill. If you get good at nothing else for the marketing of your business, get good at building a list and building a strong relationship with the list. And this is probably one of the most common things I do for clients right away that injects a tremendous amount of cash into their business very quickly. So go to helpfromsteve.com. I'll help you at least get started along this path so you can stop having such vicious ups and downs and tremendous stress in your business. And leave you with one last saying. There's a saying among smart business owners: you send all your bills to your list. So when you see a special running, or you get an email about a special, or you see an ad in the paper or on social media or on TV or whatever, you think, oh, they're running a special. What's happening is they just got a bill and they said, holy cramoly, how are we going to pay for this? And they said, I know, I'll come up with a special and then I'll let people know. And you have to pay money to let people know with a social media ad or a TV ad or a newspaper ad, but cost a heck of a lot less to send it through email or to drop them a letter in the mail or a postcard to your customer list, your prospect list, and watch the money come rolling in. So please, business owners, and hopefully that's you if you're watching this, get good at this skill. Build a list, build a relationship with the list. Sid is here, good seeing you. Gary says, love this great point. We are list builders. Absolutely. The reason to have somebody call you, come and do business, you can make money that one time, but you can make money for a long, long time if you just get really good at building a list. Anyway, that'll do it for World Wide Web Wednesday. Helpfromsteve.com is the place to go. I'll give you some personal tips and some help with how you can build a new list, make money and build a relationship and help the people on the list you already have, resurrect a dead old list, all kinds of things you can do. Helpfromsteve.com. That'll do it for today. I'll be back tomorrow on Throwback Thursday. We have a special celebration we'll be having tomorrow, and I will catch you then. Over and out. Bye-bye.